where's the money? I don't understand how you make money.
Hold on.
From that, though.
2 stand-up comics in New York City.
Just learned a lot of this stuff. I'm gonna ask all the stupid questions that you might be thinking at home, but are afraid to ask people.
Making it to where you feel like you're too stupid to be able to ever engage in it, they win.
Why the fuck are they doing this?
It's to make money. It's Risque Business News. Welcome back to Risque Business News. I'm your host, Laura.
And I'm May, and today we have an amazing special guest, one of my dear friends, Judi, and she is here to talk about how she got caught up in a George Santos debacle.
I'm so excited.
Which is amazing. Judi, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. This is great.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, I'm hyped to kind of tell my story.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't, I mean, obviously, I'm assuming if you're fans of this podcast, you know a little bit, or not living under a fucking rock, you know a little bit about this George Santos guy. He's been lying his dick off about a million things.
He's been thriving in the lies, too.
He's
kind of maybe my favorite now at this point.
I before we get into Judi's story, so she has firsthand experience with this guy, which just cracks me up beyond belief. But I have a running list of a few things that he lied about. So he lied about where he went to high school, also where he went to college, having Jewish grandparents.
Yep.
That died in the Holocaust.
That died in the Holocaust. Yeah. Judi is Jewish, by the way.
That's cool. That's a cool thing to do, right? Is that
yeah,
chill?
it's super cool to lie about like having grandparents in the Holocaust.
Okay, cool. All right, just checking. I was going to start doing that too. So
I'm going to start lying about being in 9/11. I was only 11 years old, but I was working in the Twin Towers.
I flew the plane. Yeah. So
he also lied about losing employees at the Pulse nightclub shooting.
That's so specific.
Working at Citigroup. I don't know who wants to brag about that.
Yeah.
Owning rental property. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. He's also involved in a Ponzi scheme. It's not exactly a lie, but it's just not something you want to do.
Our link to business, everyone. We are not a politics podcast, but Ponzi scheme, so we're in, folks.
So one of the things he also lied about was having an animal charity. So that is where Judi's story begins.
Oh, are you an actual good person?
I hope so.
Got it.
I guess maybe. I think the good I do with the animals outweighs the bad that I do in general. So I'm probably on an even keel.
Listen, I value animals a little bit more than I think people. So I consider you like a patron saint, kind of.
Thank you.
Mother Teresa over here.
So yeah, I mean it's crazy. I guess I'll start off with I used to run a 501c3, which is a nonprofit animal rescue for a few years. And that's how me and him met. So it's just so crazy. So I'll go back and start from the beginning of when a reporter contacted me. So she contacted me last week through Venmo. I got 1 penny sent to me. She's like, "Hey, this is Emma from the New York Times or Washington Post. How do you know George Santos?" So I literally was like, "Is this a scam?" I wrote back, "You mean the lying congressman?" And she wrote, "Yes, congressman elect." So and I was like, "I don't know this guy."
Can I pause? You through Venmo? What the fuck?
Yeah,
why was this happening on Venmo? Were you sending money back and forth?
It's because my phone number must still be in his phone and his Venmo contacts were public. And so she just went down the list. Yes.
Oh, so, she's good at her job. Damn. Good for you, girl.
Yeah. Good reporter. Right. So a week goes by and I'm like, it's really weird that this random reporter thought that I knew this George Santos guy. Again, I watch the news. I've been following this. My mom has called me every day with updates on what's happening with this guy because it's too much, right?
Best thing that's ever happened.
So 2 days ago, I wake up and something in my brain was search George Santos in Facebook Messenger because I knew he had something going on with animal rescue, and 99.9% of my animal rescue stuff is done through Facebook, networking, finding fosters, reaching out to other rescues, collaborating. So I typed in George Santos and Anthony DeVolder's messages came up, and I was like, wait a minute. They said that he used the name Anthony DeVolder, but I didn't put 2 and 2 together until it was right in front of my face. And I was
wow.
He lied about
George
his name
Anthony. Yeah. So
it's also very funny that a lot of this stuff goes through Facebook because comics always joke that we're the last group of people actually using. I get booked a lot on Facebook, and I feel like Animal Rescue operates on Facebook too.
Comedians and animal rescue centers.
if you guys really want to lose your shit, you have to like scroll through and see the drama involving animal rescues on Facebook. They fight with each other. They curse
We
each
would
other.
love that.
It is.
Do it.
And that's why I stopped running my rescue, because I just couldn't take the crazy batshit crazy cat ladies anymore that were like constantly attacking me for shit. I'm like, I gotta step out of this. Like,
I actually remember that. So, sorry to interrupt your story, but Judi and I used to work together at a previous job, and I remember there was always like tea going on with these people. It's like so funny.
Do you have any standout stories? Not to distract, but I'm curious there too.
yeah, I mean, so I was partnered with somebody else that we ran the rescue together. It was somebody that like I thought I could trust, right?
Oh.
And it turns
Strike
out
one.
big red flag for me, right? I shouldn't be trusting anyone. But she ended up like forging my signature saying I stepped down from the rescue when I was on a work trip in Canada and stealing $30,000 out of the rescue account. And so that's when I was like, bye, see you later. And so that's why I don't want to say the name of the rescue, because like it still exists under her name, but like I don't think she does anything with it. So yeah, that's like one insane story, but like I've gotten death threats sent to me. I've had women harass me. Like somebody made a Facebook group called Shame Fame just to like copy and paste everything that I did and say that like I was like an animal abuser. Like it was, and all I was doing was like saving dogs from kill lists from the New York City shelters, you know? So like,
how dare you?
Please. Yeah, it was,
Wow.
yeah, people are batshit in the rescue.
You are a
community.
martyr, can I say?
Yeah.
Okay.
So back to George Santos.
Sorry.
Yes.
I want to keep saying George Soros, and I'm like, that's a different podcast. Okay, George Santos.
So,
so he's involved in he's messaging you on Facebook as another
yeah,
rescuer.
and like I don't know if you guys can see, like it says George A.D. Santos. Like, right, and this
Holy
is
shit.
obviously he doesn't have Facebook anymore. It even says like using Messenger without Facebook. But these are the messages when I knew him. His profile was Anthony D.E.E. Right, so that we all knew him as Anthony. And so he first messages me in like 2017, asking me about this dog I must have posted that needed help, right? And so I think it was like a dog that was like being neglected in someone's yard in Brooklyn, and he was like, I can go and help it. So I gave him the address. I was like, here, take it, go see what you can do. He then messaged me, hey dear, sorry about all the fuss you went through. This is December 4th, 2017. Please do me a favor when you get a chance and want to chat, call me at his phone number. I'm the president of FOPU, Friends of Pets United. We have a team of lawyers who back us up pro bono. Let's make sure we can settle all the crap you're going through with people. If legal action needs to be taken. I honestly, as I said, rescue people are batshit. I was probably arguing with someone on a post and he sent me that, like to be like, we can help with our lawyers, which did not exist, right?
Sure.
So it definitely did not exist. So this was like the beginning of our relationship, right? And so it got to the like that point where he just kept sending me like animals that needed help, right? Like we have a few messages going back and forth, and then he sent me one saying, quick question, what's your capacity? I have ended operations on my rescues and trying to find suitable rescues to take in our dogs and pups. So this was January 2nd, 2018, right?
Okay.
And so my rescue friend did take the mom and puppies he's talking about, and like they were in good condition and everything. Like here are the pictures he sent me of them.
So there were actual dogs involved.
Oh yeah, there were. And so
You never know with this guy.
Yeah, right.
you're right. I mean, people are like messaging me being like, do you think he stole dogs? I'm like, no, I don't think he stole dogs. Like he was pulling from the shelters. Was he a registered nonprofit? No, but like the rules are so lax with rescues, which like definitely needs to change. Like you could just call yourself a rescue. Like you don't need to have nonprofit status. And like, so that's what he essentially was doing. Right. Mm-hmm. And it was like, 6-7 months of this where he kept like begging me and my friends who ran rescues to take these animals from him. And we're like, he keeps telling us that like we need to help him with these animals. Why does he keep intaking more? Why does he keep fundraisers to raise money for these animals? Right. And so it finally got to a point where we were like, he's taking a ride on us. Like we are helping him take in all these animals, and he just keeps taking more and posting more fundraisers. So it finally got to a point where, and again, he used to like call me like psychotically all the time.
What?
Like 5 or 6 times on Facebook if like I wouldn't answer my cell phone.
No one has ever made a sane call on Facebook.
No,
There is
never.
not one normal call that's ever occurred on that platform.
I agree. And, I had a reporter ask me, like, well, didn't you think these were red flags? I'm like, to be honest with you, like, rescue community is fucking batshit. So,
Sure.
no,
Right.
I
Sure.
thought it was a normal, crazy fucking rescuer. And he was very, like, flamboyant and on the phone. He'd be like, hey, girl. Like, that's what I remember about him, right? And again, this was
Really?
years ago. Oh, yeah. And it's so
Is
funny.
he claiming to be
watch him-
gay too? Is that one
Oh, yeah.
thing he claims?
He was gay. He would tell me he was gay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
At that point, was he still married to the woman though?
I don't think so.
Because
I can show you what his profile picture was at the time because I have one screenshot of.
Okay.
Oh hell yeah.
Oh yeah, it's great.
He was married to a woman for a while, and then they broke up, and then he married a man.
Honestly, like, this is my opinion. It is pure speculation. Do not sue me, George. But I think, like, obviously, maybe he married this person for papers. Like, who knows? That's kind of what makes sense because he was definitely very gay.
Yeah.
To me, at least.
Yeah. It's fair. Is he not American?
He's Brazilian, I believe. I don't know.
He was.
I think so.
They said they don't know if he was born here or there.
Yeah.
What
course
I'm
they
not
don't.
understanding
Yeah,
is, like, this
right.
man is in our government. Don't you
Make
get
it-
like a social security card from him to like pay him? Like, I don't understand how this happened. Like, also, what is his real name?
You can't get a job at Burger King with that little diligence.
Yeah, like we don't know what George Santos is his real name. Probably not.
No,
So
probably not.
here, this is like really going to be hard to see on the camera, but like,
You can send it to us too, and we'll put it on the.
yeah, that's like what.
Oh,
I'll send
wow.
it.
That does not look like a congressman-elect. I'll tell you
No,
that. That
but
looks
it
like
is.
Yeah.
But it. God bless America.
Here's his message. I'm beyond frustrated. LMAO. I suck. Please help me. I have the last 2 dogs in Fopu that I need to get over to another rescue. I'm closing December 31st. So whatever. So this is going on, right? And we're finally like, we need to find out info on this guy because he would say the crazy shit to us. He told us that he was living in an apartment in Central Park that his parents bought him that was worth millions of dollars.
Okay.
And that he was the VP at an investment firm. And that he was worth millions, but for some reason that money couldn't be used for the animal rescue. So that he was going to sell his apartment in Central Park and move to $1 million house in the suburbs of Jersey and run the rescue from there. Like, these were the things he was saying. That we're like, none of this makes sense.
Yeah, none of that makes sense at all.
So my friend starts going, wait. So I tried to stalk Anthony a bit to follow up on his many lies. Is there actually a chance his name is George? And I said, I'm talking with a lisp like a friggin' idiot, but it's his name George. And I said, I don't know. This is weird. She goes, I'm pretty sure his name is actually George DeVolder and not Anthony. Anthony only exists on social media. There isn't a single other Google anything for Anthony. However,
Wow.
George DeVolder is a vice president at an investment firm in New York City and looks spookily similar to Anthony. And then she sent a picture of like the investment firm, which in talking with reporters, that whole thing is very sketchy too. It just looks like a website that he might have created himself to give him the image of a VP. And
Yeah, I think he lied about working
why
at
does he have
Citibank
4
or
different
something.
names?
What a
I mean,
boss.
he even went, so I have a
proud.
screenshot of him using a GoFundMe name, Anthony Zabrowski. And I was watching on CNN that his old roommate said that he used the last name Zabrowski on GoFundMe because it was a Jewish sounding last name and Jews donate a lot of money.
Wow.
And so I was like, oh, cool. Great. I wish.
He's a big fan. Big fan.
Fan of the Jews. Big fan of the Jews. I mean, unlike
Holy
everybody
shit.
else in the world today, he's a big
Yeah,
fan.
he's still right in that camp. Happy.
An ally.
He's an ally.
Can't hate him for wanting to be us. I can't
No?
hate him on.
Yeah.
But like,
So wild.
yeah,
So
I mean,
he made
it's just crazy.
So he made a fake GoFundMe and name, and then was collecting donations for these animals. Does this?
Yeah, so like the one that I found that I have a screenshot of, again from 2018, is like, this is so funny. Good evening, everyone. On Monday, we all met Zizi here on Fopu, and thanks to one of our volunteers, she is now being vetted and given love. Which again, majority of rescues do things like this to raise money. It's not out of the ordinary. But I love this line that he says. For the most of you that know me, you know how serious I am with my work and the transparency I have.
Oh!
I just couldn't believe when I read
Iconic.
that. I'm like, geez. And then I know like everything that's going on with like the veteran and like the $3,000 he took. I don't know if you guys heard about that whole thing. Like,
No. What?
So-
Wasn't that like a disabled dog or something?
yeah, he met this veteran and told the veteran he was going to pay for his dog's surgery and like raised the $3,000 to do it, and then disappeared with the money, and the guy had to put his dog down.
Ew.
Yeah. And so like,
George.
I don't know the facts behind that. I wasn't involved, but it is funny that I do have a message from him from 2018 saying that he has a Pause for Veterans program. Which is interesting, right? So I don't know. The whole thing is just crazy.
So
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like he was just raising a bunch of money on GoFundMe for these dogs and then using you to actually take care of them. Were you getting this money in order to help take care of them?
I was not getting any money, and like I don't like sitting here and be like, yes, that's what he was doing, but that's what it.
I'll say it. That's what he was doing.
Okay. I don't want to get sued, okay? You know, so like
for what? No, I hear you.
I just, I actually am getting sued by a rescue right now, which is why I'm being very quiet about things. So just because I called them a puppy flipper online, so now they think that they're able to sue me.
Also, like, why are they using all this money on suing and lawyers when they could just be like saving dogs?
Right.
And cats.
And cats. I have cats too, but it's because they're puppy flippers, So
What
they didn't
what is a puppy flipper?
So they go to like the Amish farms, right, with these puppy mills, and they'll buy like 100 puppies in bulk for cheap from the Amish.
Bulk? Oh God.
Oh, in bulk, yeah.
That's like the weirdest way to. That's not a unit of measure for puppy.
Transport them to New Jersey and then post them as rescues that were going to be killed. Who's killing a 12-week-old Bernedoodle puppy? Nobody.
Yeah.
And so that's what they do to make money. They charge like absurd adoption fees, like $1,000 per dog. They don't do any vetting, no shots, not fixing or anything. And they act as rescues. And, to the public, somebody adopts this dog, they think they're doing something good. People don't know. So I like to educate. And, my big mouth got me in a little trouble because she said that I was saying things that weren't true. So that's why I'm like really careful. I don't want to go through it again, but like, it's like I said, the rescue world is absolutely fucking bonkers. And so there's a lot of rescues out there that do what Anthony was doing, right? Where they, pull animals, they raise funds. And so, it's just, it is what it is. That's why I never really like thought of anything other than this just being like another one of those people, right? Until now, where I'm like, oh shit, this goes even further than rescue. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, he was very like unhinged. Like,
so what's the story with him? Like, is he getting removed from his seat? I don't understand.
I don't understand. I know my mom called me today and she's like, Judi, you have to hear the new George Santos drama. She's like, today he bought Chick-fil-A for all the reporters and gave it to them and was like trying to be very nice to them, hoping that they would like leave him alone. He came out, he was like, here's Chick-fil-A for you guys.
Oh my God. Is it they're like, great.
We'll go check his GoFundMe. He probably raised money for that.
I just like don't understand like why he's not stepping down. Like it's enough for him. Well, I want to know what his real name is. I'm very curious. I have no idea.
I feel like it's not George or Anthony.
Right? It must be something like totally different.
Yeah.
So what's crazy to me that this is not only not illegal, apparently, but also now he just gets to have a job. Doesn't he get a salary from the United States?
That's what I'm saying.
Why would he? He's never going to step down. He will literally never step down. Why would he do that?
No.
I mean, in order for them to pay him, don't they need to have like his social security card and his real information? Like,
that's what I don't understand.
I don't understand. I mean, he obviously like has to have a passport if he was like traveling to Brazil and doing drag there and all of these things. Like, what is the real info on this?
Wait a minute. He was doing drag in Brazil?
Yeah.
You guys didn't hear about this? Yes, they caught him. I forgot what his drag name was. Hold on, I'm going to search it right now. George.
Anthony.
Yeah.
George.
Anthony Weiner.
His drag name was Santos' username Anthony DeVolder. Yeah. Here it is. Kitara Ravach. Kitara That was like his drag name, and there's pictures of him in drag. And he's denying, saying it wasn't him. Like, it was clearly him. And, like, who cares? I don't care. I love a drag queen. But, like,
right.
You should have put that in You should have put that in his campaign.
Exactly.
He would have done great. Where's he, Long Island?
Yeah.
Because he's a Republican, right?
So that's right. Then never mind.
Hide all this shit. Right.
Like
but I feel like he's openly gay. He has a husband, I think, right? Like,
yeah. It was part of his, like, he was, like, the first gay or openly gay whatever he is, congressman.
Congressman?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
First openly gay Jewish
Republican.
Survivor. Sure, survivor.
Holocaust survivor. He also said his mom like got sick in 9/11, but she was like in Brazil during 9/11. So like the whole.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah.
He
just has to touch everything. He's like every single insane thing. I just have to create.
Get involved in. So you did interviews with the reporters last week, and have they continued to, or was your contact just on Venmo?
I reached back out to her.
We were like, okay.
And I was like, oh my God, I just connected the dots. Yes, I know him. Let's chat. And so I've chatted with her. I've chatted with New York Times, Daily Dot, some other like reporters. And some influencers like have reached out to me because my TikTok, which like, of course mine directly didn't blow up, but like a famous person reblogged it or whatever, duetted it, and theirs blew up. I'm like, where's my time to shop? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, our listeners will hit you with a follow.
So much. I appreciate that. It's like, it's pure craziness. And so, you know, me and my friends that are in rescue that like have been dealing with him are just like in disbelief of this whole thing because it's just so wild. I mean, I told you guys before we started, you know, my life is just like constant chaotic girl energy. Like all these crazy things always happen to me. So like, it's not surprising that I have a connection with this.
With George Santos.
Oh, yeah. I mean, here's a great question. Have you tried messaging him? Fucking hit him up on Messenger.
You want to give him a call right now? No.
Give him a call. Oh my God. Oh,
let's give him a call.
Please.
What am I supposed to say?
He's not. I don't know. We'll talk.
I don't want to call him from my phone, but I'll give you guys his number.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, fuck yeah. Wait, call him on Facebook Messenger. Make it real chaotic.
No, you didn't. He definitely saw my video too. I'm sure someone sent it to him.
We can bleep this part out.
Yeah, bleep out the number, but I'll give it to you guys.
Okay.
I wonder if he'll answer. That's so funny. He probably won't, but
it is what it is. We should FaceTime him.
No, please do. 917. Maybe he changed his number. I mean, this is again 2018. So
no, we're doing it. We're trying it.
It's gonna be
okay, here we go. What are we gonna say? We're gonna ask for George or Anthony.
Anthony, we'll ask. I'm surprised it's ringing.
Me too.
I can't believe it.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice.
Which we leave him a message.
917 is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, George. This is Laura calling from Risque Business News. Just giving you a quick ring. I heard about a few dogs that you were looking for a rescue for. Wanted to make sure that those are being taken care of. Definitely love to help out there. Definitely don't want to have any pups without a home, you know? It's really important to me. So if you could just give me a call back, just like let me know, it would actually I'm an anxious person. Like a really anxious person. So it would be really great if you could call me back like as soon as possible. Again, this is Laura. Good to talk to you. Thanks. Bye.
All right. Well, hopefully those pups get rescued, Laura.
I just gotta.
I wonder if that's like I assume like he changed his number and then that number was reassigned to someone else.
I'll let you know if he calls back.
Yeah, like some other person's like, God damn it, I keep getting all these fucking calls from people pranking George Santos.
Please keep me posted on that.
Will do.
What does his husband do for a living?
I have no idea.
Do we check into that?
Can we look George Santos?
Yeah, let's look into this guy a little bit because if you're laying in bed with, I'm like, does this guy know the real George? Well, what's his deal?
The New York Post has an article that came out 3 days ago that says George Santos proposed to his teen boyfriend while he was still married.
Oh wow! Okay, these are some.
Wait, he drove to Harvard.
New York Post once again.
When he met the 26-year-old future congressman in 2014. All right, they say teen, but he was 18 and George was 26. So like,
it's not ideal, but it's not
not illegal. Okay,
it's not a dream. I'm gonna save him in my phone as George Santos.
We should text him.
Oh yeah. What should we text him?
Roommate told Santos he tried to get me to marry some Brazilian woman so that she could get citizenship. Santos' wife filed for divorce in 2013. Oh, so he wasn't married to her when me and him were talking. Oh, actually, he was legally married until September 2019. Oh, okay.
Oh, wow. It's a long-ass divorce.
Wait, he was married to her through 2019?
That's what it says.
There you go. You were there while he was getting divorced?
Oh, here. Who is Pedro Villarva? George Santos' husband claims come under scrutiny in wake of latest report. Nothing interesting on here.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just curious about this guy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I opened up the text screen and it's an iPhone, so you could shoot him a note if you have anything to say. May any notes for him? Just a picture, just, hey.
Hey. Hey, it's your friend. You're a friend from Citibank. I've always had a crush on you.
Yeah, please call me as soon as possible. I'm a man.
I'm a man. We should send him a dick pic.
Oh, yeah, that'd actually probably get a response.
Yeah, maybe.
But
Who's this? That's hilarious. Well, anyway, yeah. Thanks for coming on.
thank you so much. This has been an absolute delight.
So excited that I got this opportunity. I made this sound like a business call, but thank you guys for bringing me on. This was fun.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I'd like to have you on again to talk about like craziest adventures in shelter land.
Oh, yeah. More on puppy flipping.
Kelly always says like I
pups.
should write a book because like my life experiences are very I need like a reality TV show. And I know people like say that like to be annoying, but like I truly like embody the word chaotic. So like
It's great.
I do think that it would be an interesting show, like all the shelter people, and then people. It's sort of like like a lesser Tiger King sort of situation where they're all accusing each other of abusing animals, and you can't really tell who's the protagonist.
I mean, there was this woman I knew, like not to like drag this on, but like there was this woman I knew who ran a rescue called Crazy Rescue Ladies. Shocker in the name.
Perfect.
And she was really always nuts, and like I was always arguing with her about dogs and stuff. Turns out that she ended up getting arrested for hoarding. She had 180 animals in her house.
Oh my
no.
god! Wow.
So like, yeah, these people are really crazy. They're crazy. I know, and it's like that's why I dipped out. I said, "See ya."
Yeah.
That was it.
That's
like
too much.
It's a lot. So yeah, happy to chat on that stuff too. I'm sure I could find some crazy screenshots for you guys on all that.
Oh, for sure.
If you see him, collect them because we definitely love to get into that. So
I will.
All right, where can people find you? Drop your TikTok, drop your Instagram.
So my Instagram and TikTok are the same. It's at Judith, but like JEWDITHHHH, 4 H's. Like, because I'm Jewish. My name's Judith.
Yes.
It was, yeah.
Right. We get it. Yeah.
Just trying to be quirky. So
Look at that. All right.
cool. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. I'll see you soon.
bye.
Bye.
That was an absolute delight.
That was amazing. Calling George Santos, not something I saw.
I didn't think
in
I'd
my
ever
week.
do that.
No.
I was not expecting that to be a thing that happened in my life, but
I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about this guy where I'm like, okay, on one hand, I'm extremely impressed.
extremely impressed.
On the other hand, I'm like, this is a lunatic and I don't want to be anywhere near him. Like, if we answered the phone call, I'd be like, oh my God. Like,
So the fact that like he is in our government, if you think too hard about that, is extremely upsetting. And I think most people are thinking way too hard about this. You gotta smooth brain club this shit.
Yeah.
And back out and just be like, that's the funniest thing that's ever happened.
it really is. It also shows like a little bit of how little, like, kind of how little power. Because they're obviously not vetting these people. They're just like, it looks
whatever.
good for optics, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Listen, the Illuminati's in charge anyway.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
you know what I mean?
The elections are rigged. What?
Cute that you guys think you're doing a thing. Yeah.
Joking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Get back. Sit over here. We're going to raid the Capitol again in a minute. And yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. I'll see you there. Round 2.
So anyway, maybe I'll continue to shoot him some texts over the next couple of weeks.
We should.
Every time I get drunk, I'm going to start texting George Santos.
We need to manifest him as a guest.
Oh my God. I wouldn't even know what to say.
Me neither. I would be like, go. Just talk.
Talk to me about your time at Citibank.
Yeah. Let's hear your life story. And then he's just going on these wild he just tells us the plot of like $1 Million Baby.
We're like, that sounds like, oh, that's $1 Million Baby. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got me again, George. No.
It's the plot of The Lion King.
Yeah. You're Simba? Your dad fell off of a cliff?
You were in love with Nala or whatever? Oh my god.
Your uncle killed your father? What?
What? I've seen The Lion King on Broadway, by the way, and it was pretty fucking awesome.
No, so once I asked to go see The Lion King on Broadway, and Matt was like, why would we do that? And
we're not children.
I have not brought it up since. I was like, yeah, it's a stupid idea.
So dumb. Who would ever do that?
Who'd want to see that? Not
You know
me.
what?
Definitely not me.
You know what actually is an amazing Broadway play is Avenue Q. Have you heard of this?
Really? I don't even know what that is.
So Avenue Q, I don't know if it's still running, but it was like, the idea is that it's like a bunch of different people living in like one like brownstone in Brooklyn somewhere.
Okay.
And it's a bunch of different types of people that are living in all of the floors, and they all like, you know, it's just like a New York City block or whatever.
Yeah, it's like Rent, but not with
Yeah.
like whatever heroin or whatever they were doing.
Right, but it's like puppets, so they can get away with things. Like they literally have a song that's like, everybody's a little bit racist, it's true, and like you know whatever.
That's delightful.
It's exactly. It's super funny.
That's right. That's perfect.
And like whatever. It was. I really enjoyed it. So
This is not a
Quick
hot
plug.
take, but Book of Mormon also fucking fantastic.
It was good,
I
yeah.
enjoyed that one tremendously.
So I don't understand like how offended people get by like religious stuff sometimes. And I remember
They really care.
Oh, people get pissed. Yeah.
Yeah, they're really the Crusades.
people kill people over
Like
it.
a lot of people,
So,
actually.
Yeah. So, but I went with my family, and this was when I was probably like 16 or so, and I saw Book of Mormon, and I was like, I thought I was gonna be like jarred by how offensive it was by
Right.
the way people talked about it, and I was like, that wasn't offensive at all. It was fine.
No, it's fine. A
Yeah.
typical South Park episode is more offensive.
Totally.
Way more.
Totally.
But
Yeah. Have you ever seen that South Park documentary? It's called like 7 Days to Air or something.
oh,
like that.
I've watched part of it, but
pretty good.
I love that show.
Yeah, me too. And
Oh.
it's really fucking impressive what they used
It's
to do. Just like turning that around in a week, like holy shit.
They do a great job.
I remember like watching that for the first time, and whenever that came out, I was, young, and I was like watching that, and I was like, oh my God, I was like, I don't know how these people aren't like paralyzed with anxiety.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like now, like as an adult, I'm like, okay, I still would be paralyzed with anxiety, but it's like, it's a fucking cartoon. It's not heart surgery.
Well, I mean,
Like,
yeah, but at the same time, remember when they did the picture of, oh my God, when the Muslims got all mad.
the Prophet Muhammad
Yes.
or the Prophet.
Yeah, they
whatever.
kept saying they were going to put him up,
Prophet.
and that everyone was like, you actually can't. Like,
Yeah.
you actually can't. And they were like, please don't tell us that we can't do that, because now we only want to do that.
I know. Yeah, it's crazy.
Didn't go over well.
No, yeah. Well, they didn't end up doing that, did they?
I don't think so.
It's like genuine, because there was that cartoonist in Paris that got beheaded over
No,
that.
it's like
Yeah.
genuinely dangerous.
Yeah, it's like not good. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that
it's
group
not ideal.
commits to the bit.
They do.
Holy shit.
They really do.
You gotta give it to them.
And it doesn't have to make sense for them to commit to
Nope.
the bit.
Fucking leaning in, making it happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know why I
Kudos.
just laughed
Kudos
so
to that.
nervously like that.
Don't. They were like watching this podcast. They're like, careful, ladies. We don't like that you're speaking. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Ooh, I mean,
Oh, they
okay.
don't like that we're speaking at all.
Okay, I was
though,
like,
to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not a huge fan of this. Microphones? Mm-mm.
No.
Women? No.
No.
Not all of them. Just like traditionalists. We know. You guys are cool.
Listen,
you got
we
it.
don't have to put these disclaimers in.
we might still need to put those disclaimers in, but like
True.
it's fine.
That's
This is
true.
the George Santos episode. We're already dipping our toes in the deep end.
Oh, we're having fun. We are definitely having fun. So you
speaking
pointed-
of Lion King.
Yeah, speaking of Lion King, so Laura, before we started recording, she was like, I don't think you actually told the story about the lady that we had to kick off of our tour.
So, and May refuses to tell me the story offline. So I'm just like, what?
Are you sure I haven't
Dude,
told you
I
on the
don't
pod?
think so. Maybe halfway through I'll be
Okay.
like, oh, all right, never mind. Forget
Okay,
it.
this is the funniest fucking thing ever. So we're going back to the honeymoon. Sorry, this is the last
Oh,
time I'll talk about it, and then we're
no,
going to move
I'll
on with our lives.
bring it
So
back up.
anyway, so we land in South Africa, and like, so Mark and I had never been anywhere in Africa before, and originally we were going to go to Kenya. So we were looking at all of these like all-inclusive little like trips you go on, and it's just like set up for you. Like show up, and like there's a guy at the airport, and you just like follow him
your
around.
name.
Exactly. So we land in Cape Town, which is fucking like New York on the what? It's like LA. Like
Yeah,
what are we doing
it's
here?
a normal city.
It's a normal city, and we like knew that, but like whatever. So Mark just booked one of these things that like I had sent him, but because it was in South Africa, I don't think we needed the level of like being taken around and shown things that we would in other places. So we show up and there's this old lady there to greet us, like old. Okay. She's like very, very old and tiny, and her name is Sandy.
She's holding the sign. She's like, Normand?
Literally.
Oh
and so then we go and we meet up with this Sandy lady, and her husband are driving us back to the hotel, and they're like talking wicked slow. They're driving wicked slow. And she's like telling us all these boring ass facts, like talking to us about like plants and stuff. And so she's like, yeah, I'll see you tomorrow for like the tour. Okay. And Mark's like, what? Okay, like we can just Uber to wherever we're going in Cape Town. Oh, sorry, it was the day. So we had like one day to ourselves, and then the next day she was going to take us on a tour.
The tour is of what?
Well, we'll get to that. So
of the city.
So we get back to the hotel, and Mark is like immediately, he's like, I can tell this Sandy lady, she's gonna be a problem for me. Like he was like, I just know she's gonna be a problem.
She's got my
for
number.
Me. Yeah, he was like, I don't like this lady. Like we got to get rid of her. So anyway, so the first day that we're there, we're Ubering around like adults, and we've
it's a city. You got it.
We got it. So we're in Cape Town. We're having a great time. We're Ubering around to like restaurants and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then so the next day comes and Sandy picks us up at 8:00 in the morning. First of all, Mark's like, why the fuck does it have to be 8:00 in the morning? So,
I'm paying you money.
Yeah, it was insane. So she picks us up and so it's like so fucking early, and she's like driving us out to all these like cliff things or whatever. Okay. And so we're spending like hours in the car with this woman, hours. And she's like keeps telling us these super boring facts, and she's talking slow. She's just like, she's elderly. She's an elderly woman.
An elderly lady. You didn't, on your honeymoon, you're hanging out with just an elderly South African woman.
Literally.
Just shooting the shit.
Yes. And so I'm in the back seat living it up on my phone, just like doing whatever.
Yeah, hanging.
And Mark's in the front seat, and I literally see him going like, he cannot contain himself. And then she'll be like,
there used to be a 7-Eleven here.
Literally.
But now there's not.
And she's like, in South Africa. I cannot. I just had like a southern accent. Like, but she was like, in South Africa, we drive on the other side of the road. We were like, we got it. We know. It's fine. Whatever. So she's just driving so fucking slowly. And Mark at one point he's like, you gotta go fast. The cars are fucking zooming by us.
You get out and push. You're like, let's go.
And like,
she's back into it.
And she doesn't understand like that we're joking with things. Like we went by this sign, and it was the funniest fucking sign ever. There's a sign that literally said, it was like danger, like impoverished area, or like danger, like high crime area. And I was like, basically that sign just says like danger, poor people. and she was like, yes, there are a lot of poor people, like, and I was like, lady, I'm making a fucking joke. And like, yeah, I understand.
It's a fucked up sign, lady.
It's a fucked up sign that's egregious, and like I see the poverty with my eyeballs. I'm not blind. Like
we have that in America too. We know.
Like people vastly underestimate what New York is like, I think, in other countries, because they're like she was so impressed. She was like, "Oh, you guys just like went out on your own without me yesterday," and we were like, "Yeah."
What
and
do
she
you
was
think
like,
is gonna happen?
She was like, "Well, some of the areas you were in were dangerous," and we were like, walking down 6th Avenue is fucking dangerous.
It absolutely is. They shoot up the subway.
Right. I was like,
I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I might as well. If I'm over here, I'm gonna go see it.
Exactly. So anyway, so we spent all day with this lady, and it's brutal. Like it feels like we're hanging out with our elderly aunt, like truly. And then so
so funny.
And I was like, let's just get to the interesting stuff. So like she was like telling us about like these plants and like how the vegetation has changed throughout the years and blah blah blah. And she's like,
so that could be interesting.
I guess
if you like do a fast forwarded version, like it used to be all this, like in Iceland where they were like they chopped all the trees down, then they got stuck. Isn't that funny? That's funny. It's pretty funny.
It's not bad. But like this was so slow, so dry, so fucking boring. And then so she was just like, what do you guys want to hear about? And I was like, apartheid. That's it. I want an apartheid tour. Okay, I want you to speak to me exclusively about that.
Apartheid. And you're old, so you were there. Tell me about your experience.
This is the other thing. So she goes, well, I know all about apartheid because I was there for every step of apartheid.
Perfect.
And I was like, and so I'm in the back seat, like doing this math, and I'm like, so she means like the implementation, the duration, and then the closing ceremonies of the apartheid.
The credits.
Yeah. And so I'm in the back seat. I'm like, oh my God, this woman is at least 79, 80 years old.
And she's in charge of keeping you safe.
Yes.
So also her perspective was that her presence was going to deter crime.
Yeah. Yeah.
You two couldn't handle Cape Town, but with her, you're good.
Yeah.
Granny will take it down.
She will take it down. Yes. So she's driving us like hours and hours and hours. And so she's talking about apartheid. And so we were like, did you know anybody that was like for apartheid or whatever? She was like, yeah, my father. And then we were like, oh.
All right.
And then we were like, what was his reasoning?
Yeah.
We were like,
besides racism.
And then she goes, I don't like to talk about politics. You guys only like to talk about politics. I'm like, saying it's politics makes it sound like apartheid is still on the table for you. Like you're still debating whether or not you should have apartheid. And she goes,
I don't know, there's a couple different sides. It's a two-party system.
She goes, my father's reasoning for this was, and she goes on this whole tangent about how there's like differences in brains, and I'm in the back seat like,
back to the vegetation, lady.
And me and Mark are like, we're in a car with a racist lady. I don't know. Like, just she's just like full blown fucking racist. This is insane.
Yeah, I mean, that's really bad.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's the epitome. That's the definition.
So
different brains, fuck, lady.
I mean, and then there was no elaboration. There was no like
She's
after.
like, you know.
Yeah, like she wasn't saying after that, like, which is obviously completely fucking ridiculous. Like she just said that. And we were like,
you know how dads are.
We were like, you gotta keep talking. You gotta keep talking. And she was being like, I don't know. She was being like so overly complimentary to like people on the street. She'd be like, oh, isn't that little kid so gorgeous? And it was like some like random like black little girl. And it's like, all right, like relax. We think you're racist, and you're not gonna come back for us.
You really can't come back from that one. It's kind of over, lady. I don't know.
So
we're done here. I think
we're done here. So. Okay.
What?
So
it's
then
the redemption arc on you. Like,
we go to this place. We see a bunch of like live in the wild ostrich. So that was pretty fun.
That's great.
So
there you go.
At least we got that out of it.
Win is a win.
A win is a win. So we saw that. We also saw a wild, not orangutan,
monkey,
chimpanzee. No,
baboon.
Oh,
I got it.
And
like Rafiki.
So that was pretty fucking cool. So we saw those two things that day. It was great. And then we also like went to like this big cliff thing. But I was wicked pissed because there weren't any beers at the top of this cliff. I'm like, if I'm gonna walk up a fucking cliff, I need a beer.
Yeah, lady.
That's how it works. South Africa.
Come on.
I don't know who made that call, but that was fucking stupid. So anyway, so at the end, I was like jonesing. I'm like, I'm on my honeymoon. I would like to have a fucking cocktail. And then so we were like, yeah, we'd like to stop for lunch. And so she was like, okay, great. We'll stop for lunch, whatever. And thinking that like she's going to bring us to an area and then she'll be like, oh, like I'll
be back.
Yeah, I'll be back, whatever. She sits down at lunch with us.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Oh, no.
And so we're sitting there with our like elderly aunt.
Everyone's like, what is happening? Is that Mark Normand with that elderly woman?
Yeah. And like literally, so we're just sitting there. Oh my God. I'll get to something really funny about that actually. So we're just sitting there and we're eating this meal. And like it felt like I was on my honeymoon with like not even like my parents or Mark's parents. Like they're cooler than her. Like
my parents.
Like somebody's boss who's like really out of touch and should be retired. I like don't even know. It's like was so
and she's
bizarre.
She's driving you, so she has like this weird power over you, like your day.
And meanwhile, I was like, we could just Uber away from you at any moment. So then we're at lunch, and she's like, and we're like wiped, and Mark just like desperately wants to get away from her. So he's like, I think like we're gonna call it a day, like whatever. And she's like, we would like to get the fuck away from you. Like we are having lunch with you for some reason. First of all, she makes Mark pay for her lunch.
No.
Yes, and Mark's like, now I'm buying this fucking old lady's lunch? Like, what the fuck? So then
this racist old lady just got lunch on Mark.
I guess so. So we did see penguins too. That was cool. So then So after lunch we go see penguins, and then she's like, the last stop is a botanical garden. And we were like, like we're fucking wiped. And like later that night we were doing like this cruise. And so
do you want to go get some rest?
Yeah, I was like, I want to go lay by the pool and God for fucking bid have a mojito. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then on my honeymoon.
Stop hanging out with an old woman for a minute.
Yeah, I was
I'd like a break.
I would like to like, I don't know, have sex with my husband on my honeymoon. Like,
usually doesn't involve an elderly aunt.
And so
Not typically.
She starts getting pissed because I'm trying to be like, I'm just being polite because I feel awkward. And so she's like, yeah, you want to go to the botanical garden? And I was like, I don't know, like I could go either way. And I don't know why I even said that. I was just like,
I get
should have said like,
sometimes
no.
you just say,
And
I don't know.
And Mark was like, I really don't think we want to go to the botanical garden. And so she's like, you're gonna let him make decisions like that for you? And I was like,
you are a racist person, so shut the fuck up, lady.
I was like, lady, I don't want to go. Like in my mind, I'm like, no one wants to go to the fucking botanical gardens. So we show up to these botanical gardens.
Oh my God, you go!
Yes.
What's wrong with you? I would have been out there like immediately. I'd have been like, no, we're done. Get out.
There's more to the story.
Shut the fuck
There's
up.
more to the story.
We did not do this story. See,
So-
this is exciting.
So we're driving. I think that she's taking us back to the hotel. Mark thinks that too. We're all disoriented. We don't know where we are.
Yeah.
And
you're in dangerous.
she almost got us into a car accident. Like she was like driving up and Mark was like, brakes, 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 brakes. Like it was like one of those things. And we were like, oh my God, shit. We almost got into this car accident. And she was like, I'm feeling woozy. I really need to pull over. Like, and we were like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, not only are you so annoying, racist, and elderly, but you are
a medical hazard now.
You're like now almost getting us into an accident. Like this is insane.
She's like, I need to go to the hospital. Mark, can you take care of this
Yeah,
bill?
literally. So she goes, I need a rest. I need to like rest somewhere. So we finally make it to these botanical gardens and she can't find the tickets for us and she starts flipping out at like the front desk lady. And she's like, well, I'm a guide and this has always been my past and blah, blah, blah. And like the front desk lady is like, I don't know what to tell you. And like me and Mark are like, we don't need to go in. Like we've told you this a few times. And she was like, no, you're going in. And Mark was like, we don't want to go in. And she turns to me and she's like, he's so controlling. You should divorce him. Like saying all this crazy shit. And then she goes, she then proceeds to tell me a list of nightclubs that she knows of because of like her grandkids. And she's like, you need to go to these nightclubs tonight and find a real man. And
no. Does she have a death wish?
I don't know.
What's her Insta handle? She's canceled.
Yeah, it was insane.
Oh, that's the funniest thing.
And
that's like insanely.
It was
that's insanely funny.
So we're driving back. And Mark's just like, yeah, we got to get home. Like, whatever. And Mark kept being like, do you want me to drive? And she was like, you can't drive. It's the opposite side of the road. And he was like, I've
got
sure
it.
I can do it.
No, I've got it. That is difficult though.
Yeah.
I have tried to do that.
No, it's hard.
For the record.
But they're like going at it on the way home. Like literally like he's like sighing and he's just like, we got to go faster. Like we got to, and she's like, you know what, Mark, I really like you. Like being like sarcastic and was like, I think I'm going to like you even more tomorrow. And she was just like being such, and like Mark was like, what the fuck is happening right now? What is going on?
I'm loving it. This is hilarious. What the hell?
And like Mark does not do well. Like if he's in a situation where he feels trapped and he feels like he like, I don't know, like a situation like this is a good example of just like feeling trapped. Like you have to be polite to this person. Like he doesn't do well in these situations, but it's not like he was being like aggressively rude or anything.
And also, God forbid, like, I mean, he's paying. Like you guys are paying for an experience that the focus is for you to enjoy.
Exactly.
Not fight an elderly woman.
Yeah. So then we made up this whole thing. Like I was just like planting the seed where I was like, I think we might be leaving Cape Town tomorrow. Because she was like, tomorrow I'm going to pick you up at 8 a.m. And we were like,
oh God, you guys.
And Mark made a good point because I felt so fucking bad that I was like, maybe we just go with her tomorrow and like whatever. And Mark was like, May, in a world where we were out with a tour guide and he was a guy and he told me to go to a nightclub and find a real woman and divorce you, do you think we would be going out the fucking next day? And I was like, that is fair. I would be pretty fucking pissed.
Absolutely. No, yeah, I'm team. That is absolutely insane. I mean, honestly, you lost me at racist out the gate. So I was already out the car. So the patience, she must have been expensive for you to be like, the deposits though.
I know. I don't even know how much she cost, but I mean, it was so ridiculous.
Do you even know this lady? She just pick you up. You're like, I guess I got to follow.
Just like some random lady. And
just
like,
a fan.
Yeah. And then so the next day we were supposed to go because they have like really beautiful wineries there. And so we were supposed to go with her to the wineries. And I was like, can you imagine? We just did that on our own. We just went to the wineries on our own. And it was amazing. Because hello, we were alone. And
you were enjoying your husband's company.
I was having fun with Mark. And it was actually great fun. I'm kind of glad it happened because the rest of the trip we were just like laughing so hard.
So funny. Some of that shit's just the funniest.
But I texted her and I was like, oh, we have some friends in Cape Town and we need to see them before we leave. So we're going to like cancel it. And I'm like, why do I even feel the need to lie? Like I should be like, hey lady, you're racist. You almost got us into a fucking car accident and you told me to divorce my husband. And then we're not going to go out with you tomorrow.
There was no beer on top of the hill, too.
Yeah, that too. You know what's surprising about South Africans? They don't party.
That's interesting.
No partying.
At all?
I mean, they do like a little bit, but like it's fucking lame. Like,
where are you going to meet these nightclub boys then?
Yeah, exactly. Apparently there's some nightclubs, but I'm like, it's not like a party city.
Yeah.
Like it's not like, it's much more of like a get up early and do like a sporty activity kind of place.
Seattle.
Yeah. Ugh.
Just kidding. Seattle's fine.
Is it though?
No, it's just my friend moved there and she like won't leave and it's like annoying.
Why? I have friends that live there too. Ugh. Amazon. Does Sheila work at Amazon?
No, but another tech company. It's one of those.
It's not like,
I mean,
Seattle's
it's gorgeous.
It's a cool place to visit for one single weekend. And then you move on with your life.
You move on with your life. The people who move there, I'm like, just like, why don't you want to hang out with me anymore? This is the most important thing.
Yes.
You know?
Agreed.
Bethany.
Anyway, that was the story of our tour guide.
That's incredible. I mean, that's a fantastic story. You definitely did not tell me that. So I'm really glad we revisited your racist tour guide in Africa.
Shout out to Sandy.
Hell yeah. So anything, I mean, I think beyond this, I had just a couple little short, I found this Instagram account. It's Tech Sales Life or something like that. It's like the funniest. Yeah. They just make fun of working in sales, which is endless.
It really is good.
It is truly endless. I had meetings with these Japanese businessmen this week. They were so small.
Oh, yeah. You sent me a photo and that was hilarious.
I had to specifically wear flats because I was a solid 6 inches taller than these guys.
Yeah.
Minimum.
You looked like an Amazon woman.
I looked genuinely like an Amazon woman next to them. It was so funny. They were so formal. They all bowed, which I was excited. I was like too much into it. I was just like leaning into the bow. They're like,
lady, that's appropriating. This is weird.
Relax, lady. You're offending us now. I'm like, just excited to be part of something. But part of this account, they have this thing where people wrote in their different expenses. So I am obviously a huge fan of expensing shit. It's the only, there's a couple perks in sales and they're all money related.
Yeah.
It's the pure is what you want to do. You get to do some cool shit on occasion. It's usually with people you don't want to be with. But then you also get to expense things. Have you ever had an egregious expense that you've put through?
Not really. I'm kind of a pussy when it comes to expensing.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't know.
That's good. That's
yeah.
Good,
I don't know why. I feel like I perform well at my job, so I don't even know why I feel like this insecurity, but I just feel like I'm gonna put something through there like, that's it, she's out of here.
She's out of here. That's a strike. They'd probably just reject it.
Yeah.
I get expenses rejected all the time. They're like,
you do?
They're like, no. And I'm like, all right. Yeah, you're right.
That's so funny.
The most egregious thing I think I've ever expensed. I've expensed a lot of shit. And once a client and I had quite the night. And the next day we went and got IVs.
Oh, yeah.
That was a pretty good one.
Mm-hmm.
That was great. We went to a med spa and got IVs.
Good for you.
That day, talking business. So what are you talking about? People
Yeah.
do it over drinks. Why not over something a little healthier?
Yeah, it's not bad.
So these people here expensed some crazier stuff. Just out the gate, this person, the first one here, they submitted a 27-cent expense report. And they responded saying it wasn't even worth the paper it was written on, let alone the time spent processing it. But get your money.
That's hilarious.
The second one here, I once expensed Plan B because she was a coworker and it was SKO.
Oh my God, that's amazing. That feels like it was from a LinkedIn employee.
Possibly. I mean, that's
Yeah.
a lot of SKOs. There was always
That's
the
true.
SKOs where people like show up the next morning fucked up, and it's usually like the inside salesperson.
Yeah.
And you're like, you're gonna get fired. You know the
Yeah.
management's watching every single one of you. So don't drink too much on your SKO. Or if you are going to, take an ibuprofen and look like an adult the next day. This one is crazy. Dropped $10,000 on a deep sea fishing charter for 2 of my teammates. We got the works, coolers full of champagne, trip to Outdoor World for all kinds of ridiculous fishing gear we'd only use once. 85-foot boat.
Whoa.
The kicker, client wasn't invited.
Why the fuck?
We didn't hook a single fish.
Why the hell did they not invite the client?
Because I think they just wanted to hang out.
Oh my God. Or they just like forgot to invite the client. They were like,
Or they just didn't. The reading through this, I was like, what I learned the most, I was like, people are bold.
oh yeah,
They don't, 5 figures?
that's a lot.
The accounting department's like, okay, whatever, sure. This one was quite the opposite. This person goes jealous and considering an industry change, currently being audited by legal for 3 expenses attributed to the same doctor in Q4. Grand total of all 3 of these expenses, $8.
Oh my God.
Quit
Quit.
your fucking job. Get a new job. That's out of control.
That's ridiculous.
Then we go to another one. Was at an internal conference. That's not customer facing.
Yep.
The whole team went out to Tao in Vegas. VP blacked out, Irish goodbye, and he had to put on $18,000 on his corporate Amex.
My God.
It took 6 months to get it reimbursed. He ended up staying at this company for 3 months longer than I would have to just get that paid back.
Oh my God.
Can you imagine staying longer at a job because you're just like, come on, clear the expense report?
I mean, $18,000. I wouldn't walk away from it though.
$18,000, of course not. Absolutely not. Good points, though. You're flying somewhere on those points.
Oh yeah.
This guy expensed a paddleboard once. Don't ask.
Okay.
Now you own that. This one's fun. In high school, my dad used to take my friends and I to breakfast on late start Thursdays, and he would expense it and show up late to work saying he was at a business breakfast.
Oh, that's cute.
Dad of the Year award.
That's so
Terrible employee. Not employee of the year, but dad of the year.
Yeah.
This one's great. In high school, my dad, once again, had me type up my own fake invoices as if I was his driver and paid what he used to pay his driver to pick him up from the airport and still expense it.
Oh, that's great.
That is a small business opportunity. It looks like you are an entrepreneur. Turns out you were just a driver. This one's great. Coworker brought their whole family, 6 kids, to a conference in Florida and expensed the whole week for $8,000. And then another one of their coworkers tried to expense a full car.
Good for them.
This one is nuts. This is an actual real expense, but illegal. SVP of like whoever they were trying to sell to told me to get him laid so we can have something on him that he can't get away.
What?
So I
weird.
expensed hookers for this prospect under customer entertainment.
Wow.
Yo. How
That's
much was it
insane.
though?
That's like Mad Men shit.
It really is Mad Men shit. This is from like a year ago. Whoops. Second. Where did that one go? And then also in the reign of being illegal, I knew a wholesaler who expensed his coke.
Wow.
He said he would buy stuff somewhere that sounded like a restaurant, like Williams Sonoma or something like that, which doesn't. We know what Williams Sonoma is,
a
but
kitchen.
that
Pierre
was the
stuff.
example this cat uses over here. He's
Okay.
also selling to wholesalers who are expensing coke. So
Right.
he would then book the expense as that meal and return the merchandise he bought from that store and then use that cash to buy cocaine.
Okay.
Damn. There were a lot of strip clubs. People be going to strip clubs on the company dime. This guy spent $20,000 at a strip club
Wow.
after a holiday party, and he was able to get it. He got fired but there was no prior policy in place that he had violated. So technically he could sue for wrongful termination.
Why did he get fired? Because he spent
Spent $20,000. Hilarious. This one is fun because he actually got scammed and ended up being a good person.
Oh.
This guy was in Atlanta with a couple coworkers, decided to check out a gentleman's club, more strip clubs, had a few drinks, and then the shot girl accidentally spilled the tray of shots, and she said she would get fired if her boss found out she had done that. So she asked them to take the fall. They were like, probably drunk, and they're like, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Found out later when we were paying out that it meant that they were going to put those on his tab.
Oh.
So they paid it and decided to try to expense it as client entertainment. They got had.
They were had.
They were had. That girl, good for her. She made some
Yeah.
money.
Listen,
She probably does that every fucking night.
absolutely. Good for her.
This one's insane. Niners tickets. Took my wife, best friend, and said it was a vendor relations. Got called to the table on the BS. Made a deal with the devil that if I didn't hit 110% of my quota, I'd get 0 commission for the rest of the year.
Whoa.
Let's just say those bitches are going to be buying me season tickets now. So he did it.
Okay.
Good job, dude. But yeah, he expensed Niners tickets. Hilarious. This one expenses their Peloton. It's kind of hilarious but funny, boring a little bit.
I could see that.
That one actually feels like more legit
That
than
feels more,
anything.
yeah, because it's like, okay, well, if you're not gonna,
Health and wellness. People get that
Yeah.
all the time. There's like massages at Google. Like enjoy
Right.
your stupid Peloton.
you know what I want to expense is one of those walking pads and a desk that moves up and down. 'Cause
Oh,
I just have,
we
like,
got a stipend for that. That's how
It's nice.
It makes sense. I mean, yeah, you have to spend all this money on exactly that, but in an office. Like,
Right.
may as well
Right.
do that now. Since we're all work remote. This one, let's see, what's a good one to finish this up with here? There's so many. $30,000 at a conference, at a table service in Vegas. But then the
Jesus.
client signed $2 million of contracts on the plane home.
Okay.
A win is a win.
A win is a win.
This is more shots. Oh, this is my favorite one. Okay. Last one. Former colleague in big tech tried expensing his engagement ring.
Oh boy. Okay.
Almost $10,000.
Damn.
He had to put it on the company card and declared it as an emergency expense. We have that line item and concur. When he was asked to justify why this was an emergency, he said that she wouldn't have married him had he not given her this ring.
Oh my God.
HR got involved and they used this as the example in trainings.
That's hilarious.
You know what? Power to him. Honestly, she probably wouldn't have said yes if he didn't have that job in big tech. So
True. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. I wish he'd gotten that one through.
I wonder if I wonder if they got married.
I wonder if they get married. Yeah.
I would be like, you're a fucking idiot.
I would be like, damn. Also, $10,000. This is a nice ring.
The balls on you.
I mean, people are shameless. So this is actually fitting after the George Santos episode. People
Yeah.
do whatever the hell they want.
They really do.
They really do. I'm sure the people working in those expense departments have seen it all. And they're
I
just
know.
like, buddy, no, you can't buy an engagement ring on the company dime.
No.
What?
Can't do it.
Cannot do it. For the record.
That's so fucking funny. I'm proud of these people.
I'm proud of these people. I would not ever have the balls to do something of that.
Me neither.
Any of those natures.
I feel like I'm sort of a goody two shoes in a lot of respects. Like in terms of like job stuff, I'm such a goody two shoes.
It's definitely the right thing. You mean you're a good employee?
Yeah.
I definitely have some friends of mine, maybe former coworkers, who expense like full ass vacations for fake meetings.
No way.
I'm dead serious.
Wow.
They were really ballsy about it. And they got away with it. But they
just
also
don't have the
closed a bunch of
guts.
deals. So it was one of those things where people were like,
Just turn the other cheek. They might have even known and they were like,
these guys weren't idiots and these were children.
Yeah.
I was like, you're not fooling anyone. We know your client doesn't live in Nassau in the Bahamas. Like, obviously not.
This guy at LinkedIn, he got caught cheating on his wife because he would make these fake. So he was a manager and his AE that reported up to him, he was like banging her, I guess.
Oh God.
And
oh God.
I know, not great. And anyway, so they would like create these fake meetings that they had to go to, and then they would just like expense a hotel and do their little rendezvous and then come back the next Monday morning, and they did it like a few times, and finally they got caught. And like he had a wife and kids, and small kids.
No.
Like I think the kid was like 1 year old or like 2 years old or something like that. And I'm like, your wife just birthed a human for you, and you're gonna fuck some like 22-year-old that just got out of school. You're
in like Columbus,
pervert.
Ohio or something. Like
Yeah,
enjoy, yeah.
I think they got caught in DC.
That's not worth it.
No, it's not.
Go to
At
Paris.
least go to Miami.
Go to Miami.
Anything, yeah.
Anything. Not DC. What's wrong with you?
I literally.
What's wrong with you?
Ew.
Well, if you have a good expense story, please write it in. I know anything over 4 figures, I start getting really nervous on my expense reports. Even I think again, it's like legitimate client shit. It's always legitimate client shit.
I'm such a dork that like my laptop was fucking up for a wicked long time, and I waited a super long time to buy a new one. And my boss was like, "Get a new laptop."
Like, what are you doing, dude?
It's $1,000. You bring in millions of dollars a year. Just fucking buy one.
Do that.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? Yeah.
Anyway, I gotta get back. This has emboldened me
Good.
to do some.
So
crazy shit.
next week we'll come back with some shit that we've expensed.
Yeah.
No, it's gonna be like, I took an Uber.
And
right. One of the destinations was a comedy show from work, though. From work to a comedy show.
If
so,
I
like, you know,
ever go into the office, ever in the whole existence of the office, I will be Ubering and expensing it.
Yeah, that's fair.
About that.
That is fair.
I'm getting wild.
I'm
getting
like
crazy.
I this is one I just did. I expensed my subway day passes when I only needed it for one trip, but I was like, I didn't take an Uber, so this is savings.
Look at that.
But I still feel guilty.
You should.
No.
You should go to jail.
If my employer's listening, please don't fire me. Or do. I don't even know. Put me on my misery. Who knows? That's the episode. I hope you guys liked this.
It's kind of a hodgepodge.
If you want us to call George back, let us know. And as always, like and subscribe. 5 stars. Tell your friends. 3 friends.
3 of them specifically.
Smash.
We're doing like the unhoused person method of asking for something very specific. You know, when they're like, I would like a tuna sandwich. I walked by some guy the other day, and he was like, I need a roast beef sandwich, and I'm like, this guy just like yelling out super specific ass. He's like, I need a number 4, and I'm like, from what restaurant? He's like, any number 4.
He's like, waiter, you look like waiter. You're like, I'm just walking. Now you're a waiter. Oh, okay.
All right.
I'm
Guess
a people
buying
pleaser.
This guy a fucking roast beef sandwich.
All
Okay.
right. Well, have a good one.
Goodbye.
Bye.